All right, guys, we are back in my garage for another video, and a lot of you guys have been posting about running into a speed limiter on your car that you don't know how to fix. Usually it's getting stuck around 162 miles an hour, or if your car is on metric units, it's around 260 kilometers per hour. And it doesn't make sense because you did everything you were supposed to make sure there was no speed limiter, but somehow it's still stopping and hitting this brick wall. Now, the good news is the fix is actually pretty simple. It's not what you think. It's not related to your tune or anything like that. It's simply software in the computer of your car that needs to be updated in order to make all of this work how you want it to. So in this video, I'll explain to you what's actually happening, why it works the way it does, and then I'll show you how to fix it so you can see your car go above 162 to whatever your actual max speed is. So let's go ahead and talk about it, and hopefully you guys find this video useful. Now, you guys know how this channel works. I can't just tell you what to do. I'm going to explain how to do it and what's actually going on, because if you're like me, you don't want to be pressing buttons and changing settings on your car without actually knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it. So if you're more impatient and you just want to see the DIY, feel free to skip forward. But here's a breakdown of what's actually going on. So our BMWs all have a speed limiter. Usually it's around 130 miles an hour. But if you get like an M car or a sport trim, like an M Sport package, it can be raised to 155 miles an hour, which is around 250 kilometers per hour. And that's pretty good. I think most people would be satisfied with that, but some people want to go faster, and I completely understand that. So there are a couple different things you need to do in order to remove your speed limiter. The first thing, of course, is your car needs to make enough power. And I hate to say it, but a lot of us just don't have cars in that range. Either it's underpowered or it weighs too much. And so it's really hard to get it at 155 or over. So you're probably going to want to tune something to help your car make more power in order for it to get to that kind of speed more effortlessly. Otherwise, you'll need a mile of downhill stretch of road or your closed road course in order to hit those kinds of speeds. So just be realistic with yourself. If you need more power, go ahead and get that done so that your car can actually get up to that speed reliably. Now, even if you're making more power, it's still going to have that factory speed limiter in place. So in order to remove that, you're going to need a tune. Now, I recommend using MHD tuning. That's what I use to tune all of my cars, and it works really well. It just has a simple little checkbox when you're flashing your map, and that disables the speed limiter entirely. So you won't have to worry about that anymore, and it'll allow you to go as fast as the car can actually go. Now, keep in mind, there are some things that people call tunes, but they're not real tunes. Things like JB4 or a Dynon piggyback, those will allow the car to make more power, but it can't change the settings in the computer to allow it to reach a higher top speed. So you need a flash tune like MHD or Boot Mode or MG Flasher or Ecutech in order to completely remove the speed limiter from the car. Now, here's where a lot of people get frustrated, because if your car is making enough power, you flashed a tune, you made sure the speed limiter is removed, why is your car still stopping at 162 miles an hour? And again, the answer is pretty simple, even though it's probably not what you think. So all of our cars have an indicated speed bias built into the instrument cluster. So when your car says you're going 70 miles an hour, you're not actually going 70, it's closer to 68 miles an hour. If your car says you're going 100 miles an hour, it's not really 100. It's closer to like 96 miles an hour. And if your car says it's going 155 miles an hour, it's not really going 155. It's actually closer to 147 or 148. It is literally that far off because there is a percentage bias put onto the indicated speed. Now, my understanding is BMW does this for legal reasons. They want to make sure they don't have any liability in case you get a speeding ticket or something. You can't say, oh, the car said I was going the speed limit, but your equipment read that I was going faster. So this way, the car will always overestimate your speed to make sure you're going at least slower than what it indicates. But there is a big challenge with that, because if you're doing the math, you might think, if it says you're going 162, you're not actually going 162. You're going 155. And it's just the bias in your speed limiter that's indicating you're going 162. Now, this is good news, because what that means is your car is not actually stuck at 162. It's just not showing speeds faster because of the software on the car limiting it on your indicated speed. but you can fix this pretty easily so that it will not only show your accurate speed, but it will continue to show your car accelerating when you go above 155 miles an hour. So here's how to do that. So first of all, you need a coding app, and I recommend using Bimmercode. It's the app that I use to code all of my cars, and it is great. You can download it from the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, and it downloads straight to your phone and allows you to code your car to whatever settings you want. You do pay for it once, but then after that, you can use it as many times as you want on as many cars as you want. And so it's really a nice investment to have if you plan on owning your BMW and enjoying it as much as possible. Then the next thing you need is an OBD adapter. This will actually connect your car to your computer so that you can put the coding on your car. Now, I recommend using the MHD Universal adapter. This is great because it not only does coding, but it also allows you to flash tunes for your engine. It allows you to tune your transmission. You can run diagnostics with it, run logs, anything that you would need to do. This will allow you to do it. So it's something that works on all BMWs, older and all the way up to the newer ones. And it's just kind of a foolproof purchase to make sure you can do whatever you want from your phone. So highly recommend getting that one. But if you don't want to go that route, you can also get the one that's actually recommended by Bimmercode. It's the OBD Links CX Bluetooth adapter, and that will allow you to code your car in that nice slim OBD adapter. So again, you can use whichever one you want. I will have my affiliate links in the video description so that you can pick which one you want to go with. So now we've got the app and we've got the adapter, so it's time to go ahead and code our car. So go ahead and plug in your adapter into the OBD port on your BMW, and then you're going to connect it to your phone, either using your Wi-Fi settings or your Bluetooth settings, depending on the OBD adapter that you chose. Then go ahead and open up the Bimmercode app, and right in the middle of the screen, you're going to hit the connect button. Now, because I don't code my car all the time, it pretty much always says I need to update it. So if you need to disconnect your adapter, go ahead and update the app and then reconnect to your adapter and move on to the next step. Now from the screen, you can pick the actual OBD adapter that you're using. So like I said, I'm using the MHD Universal adapter, but if you've got any other OBD Links adapter, the XHP adapter, the BM3 adapter, whatever you're using, you can select that from the screen, and that will make sure that it can actually communicate to your car through the OBD adapter. Then go ahead and hit connect. Then you're going to select your vehicle platform so you can see all the different series depending on your car. You're going to pick the correct one for you. I'm coding my 340i, so I'm going to pick BMW 3 Series or M3. Then go ahead and hit connect, and Bimmerlink will begin scanning your car for all of the different ECUs that it can see. It's basically looking for any module that you can do coding on. And as you can see on this list, there are several different things that I can go through. And if you guys want a more detailed video that breaks down all the different coding options, I'll have that linked in the video description so you can see everything that you can code from just the regular off-the-shelf options in Bimmercode. It's actually extremely convenient and some things you probably wouldn't even think of. But for this one, we're going to go ahead and click on the instrument cluster control module. So click on instrument cluster, and then it's going to give you the backup warning message, which is actually what you want. It's a good thing. It's basically telling you it's backing up your data. So if you make any mistakes while you're coding, you can always restore the backup and it will bring it back to your original settings. Then under the instrument cluster menu, we're going to go to the top and switch over to expert mode. Now it's going to come up with this big warning on the screen, and don't freak out. This is completely normal. It's basically just saying that when you're not just checking yes or no on their off-the-shelf options, you're basically on your own and doing things at your own risk. But the good news is we know what we're doing, so go ahead and accept that risk, and then we are going to pick from this menu. Now I can't read what the actual setting is. It's 3000 something configuration, but go ahead and click on that. And then you're going to scroll down to BC_V_corrector, and then click on that. Now this from the factory is going to be active, which is enabling the speed bias on your car, but we want to disable that. So we're going to change it to not active. Then go ahead and hit save. And then when you go back, go ahead and hit code. And then it's going to do everything that it needs to do to flash the control module for your cluster. It's normal for the cluster to kind of turn off and turn back on. You might hear a couple warning bells and stuff like that. That's completely normal. It will clear all the codes and make sure everything goes back to how it was once it completes the coding process. Now, another thing that you can do if all you have is the actual, final bit of what you're trying to change, but you don't know how to navigate to it, you can also just go to the search at the top and then type in BC_V_corrector or whatever setting you're looking for. And as you see, it just pops right up. And so you can click on that and then change it from active to not active. So a little bit of an easier way if you don't know which actual module or screens you need to go to find a specific setting. And that's pretty much it. Once you flash that to your car, it's time to test it out. So go ahead and find a nice enclosed, safe road. And yeah, we made sure it's working. So good news, it should show on your dash, it should show on your heads up display. Everything should be updated, again, not only to show the more accurate speed reading, but also any speeds above 155 if you have space to get there. And hopefully this solves one of those annoying problems that you don't know until you run into it when you're in the middle of just trying to have a good time. So hopefully this helps you out. Again, please use the links down below in the video description. They are affiliate links, so they help support the channel. And let me know if there are any other coding videos you guys want to see. Like I mentioned in the past, I'm going to try to make more content about expert mode settings that you can change and the benefits of that. So hopefully we'll be doing more of these in the future. But for now, I think that's it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this helps. And if you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below.